I'm here at Wagento with Evan Arco. Evan, what's your role at Wagento?
Hi, I'm an e-commerce strategist here at Wagento. I work with current existing clients on furthering their website into more of a growth area, as well as working with new clients on how to better their websites and use our services to do that.
At Wagento, what does your ideal client look like? Is there a particular type of merchant or industry or merchant size that Wagento works with?
Yeah, well, with our focus being on the Wagento platform and that being an open source and flexible platform, it really leads to our clients having a wide range of expertise and industry focus. Our ideal merchant really is someone that has an established e-commerce website, and our focus on is helping them close that omnichannel gap. So through integrations, we can make sure that they're increasing their sales through new sales channels, as well as branching out into new segments such as international business.
You mentioned omnichannel and closing the gap. Can you give us some examples of how you've closed the omnichannel gap for some of your customers?
Exactly, yeah. Closing the omnichannel gap really comes together through integrations. That could be an integration with a product inventory management system. It could be an inventory management or a warehouse management. And really what that is while the e-commerce site is only doing the online sales, we're closing the omnichannel gap to include your warehouse and your brick and mortar stores so that they're all held together under one platform.
Now, are there particular pain points that merchants are usually experiencing before they come to you and say, hey, we need to start looking at integrations?
Merchants are finding is they're using their time in a lot of manual, handwritten processes. We're finding that in that omnichannel gap. The closing of that gap is really automating a lot of those manual processes today. So with an inventory management, maybe it'd be at the end of the day having an automatic report that updates the current stock to that inventory manager at the end of every day. Normally that would be a manually written process. They would have to have a team to perform. Now Wagento can help get that in an automated update every day.
So are there particular, other than maybe PIM systems that you've touched on, are there integrations or third-party services that a lot of the merchants that Wagento works with are using to really, up their e-commerce game and that you strongly recommend for everyone you work with?
Yeah, definitely. I think as Wagento has grown, so has our integrations. We could see that in Wagento 2 today because they've unveiled core bundled extensions. Really, these were third-party integrations that they found were so closely used by so many other merchants that they made it easier right off the gate for you to use. Two that come really easily to mind is Vertex, which is a core bundled tax solution out of Wagento. The other one is .digital, who was just rebranded from .mailer. So from an email and marketing campaign, those are now natively core bundled in Wagento, which can actually be activated with simply a plug-and-play mentality.
Definitely great products to explore, and you don't have the cost of maintaining or integrating a module because it comes right out of the box.
Exactly.
Is that the strategy at Wagento? Is to keep things simple. Use the products that are in the core if they're sufficient, versus maybe going out and adding a bunch of third-party modules?
I think that's where we bring value. Being part of that Wagento community is we listen and we contribute. So over the years, it's that journey of how did that integration become a core bundled extension? It's in that journey through their responsiveness and support with Wagento that they've been valued to want to be added into that core bundle. So really, as we've learned through the process, we've learned that as an integrator, we become more familiar with it, and merchants can feel more comfortable with their support that they provide.
So what are the biggest challenges that you see small to mid-sized businesses facing currently, and how do you suggest that they attack those problems?
That is a very good question because there are so many challenges. I would say it's in the goal setting and planning stage that we as a system integrator can really work with merchants to finding a helpful solution. That starts right day one with our onboarding process. When we bring in a new client and we sit down, we want to make sure from the get-go that we're involving quarterly and yearly planning to not think of their e-commerce site as a one-and-done project, but rather a living ecosystem that needs to be attended to on a monthly, daily, and weekly basis. And that means rolling out a budget in a year or 12 months and then dissecting it as the project goes about.
A lot of small to mid-sized merchants are struggling to keep up with the giants of e-commerce. From Amazon to Walmart, there's just not the resources to provide the same type of user experiences that those big companies are able to do. So do you have maybe some suggestions on how those merchants should try to compete with the big guys, or maybe there's some strategy to do things a little differently that maybe sets them apart in some other way?
Yeah, I definitely think there is a method to the madness without wanting to hammer on too much of just setting the goals. But I think just getting in the mind frame of a merchant that they don't have to compete directly with Amazon or Target or Best Buy, like those big box merchants, but letting them know that there is space in the economy to coexist. I think really just understanding your ideal customer and then how to target your e-commerce store for them can really help to solidify your niche. Most e-commerce stores wouldn't be here today if they didn't have a good product or a niche market, and really the e-commerce is just the best tool to exploit your own product.
So give us the hard sell on Wagento. If you're a merchant out there and you're looking for somebody to help you with your e-commerce journey, then why choose Wagento?
Really, when it comes to the Wagento platform as a whole, there isn't a single functionality or application that we don't believe we can work with. As long as the technology exists, we can be that middleware to help bring the complexities to a simplified communication with the merchant. Really, we want to work with you to bring that dream onto your site.
Hopefully you're enjoying these smaller videos. We're trying to improve our interview game and continue to get better at these each and every time. I want to thank Wagento for being hospitable and allowing us to swing by randomly and film an interview in their conference room here. I feel like maybe we surprised them a little bit when we showed up, but a lot of great information, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.
And I'm happy to be here. Thank you.